Hey everybody, Eagle Run 23 here. Let's take one more look at tying a bow on this DIY SFAR beater gun. And I think we've got some good results to share with you. But first, this video is sponsored by Meera Safety. Excited to work with Meera Safety on a couple of videos. They sent out this fantastic gas mask that is the absolute real deal. We're not talking about the cheap Amazon version of these. These are the real deal. They've got child sizes. They have a couple of different styles based on your needs. You can put the canister on each side. This one's got a drinking straw, all sorts of cool technology that goes into these. They are a Texas-based company and do international business all over the globe. If you want the best gas mask, you got to go to Meera. All right, so I have the optic pulled off of this. We, of course, have a tracked response that was on here, but I have the optic pulled off because I needed to get a weight on this, because that is one of the items on our list to make sure that we were able to defeat the Ruger SFAR. We were trying to beat the Ruger in 3 or 4 categories. Number 1, price. Number 2, accuracy. Number 3 was reliability. And then number 4/5 could kind of be added together in the length and the overall weight of the item. So I kind of have those lumped together for us here at the end. Let me get this optic on this gun, bring you in close, we'll go over it. I also have for you the price breakdown of this build to go over to compare with the SFAR versus the DIY home build. All right, welcome to the Workbench here. We are in the middle of several projects and I'm not really done with this home-built SFAR, but we need to kind of tie a bow on it for right now so that we can keep moving on to some other projects. There'll be some more things coming with this later. I'm gonna do a more involved accuracy test. We're gonna do a more involved reliability test, but for now, I have some results for you. So as it sets right now, let me go through each component real quick. And again, the links to this entire build list are over on the Eagle Run 23 blog. All the breakdowns with links to every single one of the manufacturers. Some of those are affiliate links, so I appreciate your support in clicking those links. And a little bit of that is kicked back to us so we can keep doing these things. So number 1 is price. That's the big one. We're going to lead off with the big one, and we'll finish with the weight because that is the other big one. So first things first, a Ruger SFAR, which I have one coming to me, they're listed at $13.39, but on Palmetto State Armory, you can find them for like $9.99. Some of them have a mag, some of them don't. So we're gonna use the manufacturer suggested retail price because that's what all of my prices that I listed are as well. Starting with the upper, Aero Precision, 180 bucks. The lower is from Tennessee Arms, and this is a carbon fiber lower, very lightweight, should be pretty strong. We're gonna test that. It is only $33. Aero Precision provided the upper parts kit, and that was sent to us from Optics Planet, so thank you, Optics Planet, and it was $24 for the upper parts kit. The lower parts kit is from CMMG, and that was provided to us from AT3 Tactical. Thank you guys very much. It is $58. The trigger is a PSA custom single stage trigger, and it was provided at a discount, but the retail on that is $89. The buffer tube is also ATI and provided by AT3 Tactical, and the spring is a really cool captured buffer from Armaspec. Big fan of the captured, even on AR-15s, AR-10. I think they're great. Ours was provided by AT3 Tactical, but the retail on that is $50. Down here on the end is the 16-inch pencil barrel. It was provided by Faxon, but the retail on that is $260. The bolt carrier group, I don't think they gave it to me. I think I paid for it, but the retail on the bolt carrier group was $219. The gas block is from a manufacturer I haven't worked with before or used. It's WOJTEK, like Wotech, something like that. Wotech weaponry, and those run $65. The gas tube, 16 bucks from Faxon. The handguard, 15-inch handguard. I have this same handguard on my 8.6 Blackout, so I have 2 of these. Big fan of them, and they do a couple of things right. I remember we're talking about handguards. I would like to see all handguards scalloped, but this one is not, and it is $185. The stock is the first time I've used a Magpul SL. I purchased this from a local gun store for the win. They did not give me a discount. I paid full retail for it, and that is, I think these are around $140. You can probably find them online. I paid more than that, but I did give you a link over to Optics Planet, where the SL from Magpul is available at a discount. If you total all of those things up, that equals $1,278. So at $1,278, which is the total of what this gun cost minus the optic, which we'll talk about here in a second, you've got a $1,339 versus $1,287, but the retail versus discount, $999. I probably could have built this gun for around $999. It's really a push on the price, but at least we're the same, and we probably have a little bit better components. From a component standpoint, I do think I win, but we're going to call that a push on the price. Now, popping over to accuracy, I don't have a Ruger SFAR, but I will soon, and we will test accuracy and shoot these guns side by side with the same ammo from the same box. We can't do that yet, but I have a couple of buddies who have the 16-inch Ruger SFAR, and there's also a couple people on YouTube. Averaging the groups that I've seen there, 1.2-inch to 1.6-inch groups at 100 yards is the ranges that I was seeing. So just above MOA. If we're looking at that, 1-inch group at 100 yards as being our standard, just plus MOA. And I've shot this gun only a couple of times. I have probably around 100 rounds through it, and so far my average group, when I did the 6 targets on that page, which I can show you that in another video, the 6 targets, I was averaging a 7.8. So mine was sub MOA and the Ruger was just plus MOA. So I'm going to call it a win for accuracy. I kind of expected that just because our components were a little bit higher. I was also using match grade ammo. We are using premium Federal and Hornady Match 308, 168 grain this gun seems to like. Reliability is another tough one that's going to be a little bit subjective, and so you might have to give me a little bit of grace on that, but I only have 100 rounds through this, so if I had a brand new SFAR and I only had 100 rounds through that, initially there were some quality control issues with that Ruger. All of the guns that I see on the market here recently and some of the other YouTube channels that have it, and I do have a buddy who got one just this summer, his seems fine from reliability. So reliability being a little bit subjective, I've had zero problems with this. Once I dialed the gas block in, I was shooting suppressed. We had no problems at all. And the length and the weight. The length from Ruger shows to be 37.25 fully extended. I am within ½ inch of that, so I don't know if they measured with a muzzle device or not. I measured mine without a muzzle device because I'm throwing on the can, so that might be why mine's just a little bit shorter, but within ½ inch, or it could be our stocks are just a little bit designed differently. The weight is probably the main thing that we wanted to try to accomplish. We have AR-10 problems that they're just heavy. They're a little larger than they should be. The handguard design is more towards the strength and not towards the swiftness. I cherry-picked some of my components, like the carbon fiber lower. I wanted a different handguard, but this was the lightest one. I chose between a couple of different ones. This was the lightest one, so I chose it. I also do like the Faxon handguard. I like the look of it. So cherry-picking some components. I know the Ruger bolt is lighter than my standard, AR-10 bolt. I know it's lighter, but overall, guys, I beat the Ruger SFAR. The published weight from Ruger, of course, minus an optic, is 6.8 pounds. And the home-built DIY SFAR comes in at 6.7 pounds. I beat it by an ounce, and I'll take that victory. It was a good match, but I kind of feel like we came out on top. So based on that, if I push on price, I win on accuracy. Reliability subjective. Length is a tie, but I win on the weight. So I don't know, maybe I won 2 out of 4 or something like that. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. The full breakdown with all the links to the manufacturers are over on the blog, eelrun23.com. And as of right now, this is the top blog, but they get pushed down, so you may need to scroll a little bit till you find the Ruger SFAR home build. All right, I'm going to get this optic on. I think we need to go shoot this again. It's raining today, but maybe we'll go find an indoor range or see if we can continue testing this a little bit. I'll see you guys on the next video. Thanks for watching.